Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to Daily Current Affairs session of 8th March. As we said, there was no live sessions on these days. We are giving it in form of recording. Okay. So briefly, we will see what are all the articles that we are going to cover for 8th March. There are a lot of articles. That's why we did not club. So those articles covers of various topics. First one, nominated members in the MLC elections. So members of legislative councils in the states, not only directly elected, some states have MLCs as well. So we will see what is the issue and what is the criteria to select them. Next one, use of local currencies in trade, very small article from economy. So we'll see the agreement between Central Bank of India as well as Indonesia. We will see what is the significance as well. And then artificial intelligence knowledge consortium. So the new consortium, new grouping, of course it is not a government oriented. So briefly we will discuss about it as well. Then from science and technology, it is very important. VSAT, very small aperture terminal stations. So this can provide internets. We will see how it works and what are all the things important for our exam. Then International Women's Day, you all know, very popular one that we have celebrated the International Women's Day on 8th March. We will see the theme and briefly the history as well. Then National Creators Award, for the first time this was created in 2024, right? So this becomes very important. We'll see what is that. And then Uttar Purva means Northeast Transformative Industrial Scheme. So Northeast Industrial Development Scheme, Unnati, has been extended as well as launched. So Indian AI mission, very important again with the 10,000, more than 10,000 crores. Government has launched this. Next, PM Ujjwala Yojana, extended again. We will see briefly that in the background as well when it was launched, what are the objectives. Next, very important statistics we got, final estimates of horticulture crops. So the numbers are important, that very part of our agriculture. So you need to know the statistics. Then Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Port, which is also called as a Kolkata Port. We will see briefly about it. Namaste scheme for sanitation workers, Swadeshi Darshan and Prasad scheme. So most of the things were taken from Press Information Bureau, PIB, because there was a cabinet meeting, right? So these are all relevant things. We will see some factual pointers as well as practice questions, okay? So as there was no space, I did not mention. Anyway, we'll see the practice questions as well, right? So the first article is nominated members in MLC elections. So why this we have taken this article? Because Telangana High Court has quashed, that means kept aside, the governor's order in rejecting the proposal to 2 MLAs. Understand this, governor has rejected 2 MLCs proposed by TRS government, or you can say BRS government. So previously you all know in Telangana we have a separate other party, that is BRS, right? Bharatiya Rashtriya Samiti. Now it was changed to INC, that is Congress. The government has changed in Telangana. This BRS party has proposed 2 names to the governor, but the governor has kept quiet for some time, and after the new government got elected, he rejected the 2 members proposed by BRS. And whatever the proposals that were made by INC, the new government has proposed 2 members that governor should nominate these 2 members. Okay, already BRS government nominated, but that was rejected and this proposal was made, and the 2 person who got rejected has filed a petition in the High Court, right? So this is the thing what has happened. Now the High Court has quashed the governor's rejection of the 2 members from BRS. So that's why we have taken this article. Now, before going into, I will explain you again, no need to worry. But before that, we need to know about the what is legislative council and all, so that you will understand in a much better way. Okay. So we, as we have 2 houses at the parliament at the central level, right? One is Lok Sabha and the other one is Rajya Sabha. Similarly, we can have 2 sessions, 2 houses in the state legislatures as well. Though it is mandatory at the central level, that is in parliament, but in the states, it is not mandatory, but it is the wish of the state governments as well as the parliament, right? So in the state as well, we have 2 things just like the parliament, and those are called as legislative assembly like Lok Sabha, and a legislative council like Rajya Sabha. So there are two houses, not in all the states, only few states were like approximately 6 were now, but anyway, all the states are eligible to have two houses. Okay. So legislative assembly I am not discussing here, who are directly elected by the members, and legislative council we have a other composition through article 169. So article 169 enables the state governments, the states, to have a legislative council along with the legislative assembly. Very important to understand. So this article empowers the states to create their own legislative councils whenever they want, right? So also this one more article related to that, article 171 says the members of legislative council, LC legislative councils, should not exceed 1/3 of the members of the legislative assembly. Okay. So the members, the total members of legislative council should not exceed 1/3 of the members of the legislative assembly. For example, there are 150 members in the legislative assembly. What is 1/3? It is 50. So legislative council should not exceed 50 members, right? So these two articles are important. One is article 169, which gives powers to establish their own legislative councils. Second one, limiting the members. They cannot select, they cannot appoint too many members. Only the 1/3 of the total legislative assembly members is the limit, right? So this is the what you call the constitutional provisions. Now at present only 6 states are there. As I said, it is not mandatory like at the center. It is only the wish of the state governments. I'll tell you how can they establish and all. Just wait for some time. But just understand the facts that only 6 states has legislative council. Many times they have asked in the exam also. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. So Telangana issue we are discussing now. Why governor has rejected and all, right? So the Telangana government issue we are discussing. Out of these 6 states, the Telangana also has the legislative council, which is called as a Vidhan Parishad in Hindi, right? Now, how can this be established? How can this be, as well as establish as well as the abolish? First, the proposal should come from state government. So let me explain this way. State government or state, I can say it is not government. So state should propose to the center, that is parliament. Now how it will recommend? State governments, whatever the states which want to have legislative councils, has to pass a bill with special majority. Special majority. This means they need to pass a bill, a proposal with half of the members of the house, total members, right? So for example 100 are there, then 50 at least should support. So special majority includes two things. One is at least the total membership of the house, that is legislative assembly, 1/2 of the members should support. Along with that, 2/3 of present and voting, right? So sometimes not all the members will present in the house, right? They may be in vacation, they may be in some other work, or they may abstain also sometimes, right? So 2/3 of the members who are present and voted, right? Out of 150, for example, they need to first get 75 votes. Now 2/3, for example 50 are absent and they did not vote, and we have 100, 2/3 into 100, so 33, right? So that at least 66 also should be supported. So both the conditions has to be satisfied. If the bill is passed with this special majority by the state, then it will be passed to the parliament. It will be passed to the parliament now. Yes, we have accepted, we have proposed and passed with the special majority. Now it comes to the context of parliament. Now here Lok Sabha has to pass the bill. Lok Sabha has to pass the bill with a simple majority. Simple majority. In the states, it is special majority satisfying these conditions. Here, half of the members present and voting. Present and voting. here half of the members of the total house, just whoever is present, out of that half of the members should be supported in the parliament. Then it can be established. A separate legislative council can establish after satisfying all these conditions. State will propose with certain majority, that is special majority, to the parliament, and then Lok Sabha will pass the bill. There is no need of any Rajya Sabha involvement. So Lok Sabha will pass with the simple majority accepting the proposal of the states, right? So now if you want to abolish it, some state government want to abolish, the same process again, they need to pass the bill to abolish, and then it is to be passed to the parliament, and it has to be passed with a simple majority. So this is the process to establish or abolish the legislative council. Now, how are the members elected? It is not like direct elections. As I said, it is not a direct election, right? So it is an indirect election, and there are total members. I am taking an example of 100 members, for example. Okay. So out of 100%, 1/3 of the MLCs are elected by MLAs itself. So there are MLAs, already legislative assembly is there. So they will vote the members, whoever has participated in the elections. Out of 100, 1/3. 1/3 means 33 approximately members will be directly elected by the MLAs, right? Next one, another 1/3 will be having a special electorate comprising members of local governments. So there are panchayats in different states. So those panchayat members, whoever are there, elected ward members and all, those people will vote and elect the other 33%. So that is again 33. Now 66 has been completed. We are left with 33 more. So already 1/3 has completed. Lok Sabha, MLAs will elect. Second one will be elected by the local panchayat members, and the next 1/12 means 1/12 into 100, right? So approximately you can say 12 eighths. So approximately 8 seats, 8 point something. So this will be elected by the teachers, whoever has working in teachers, both government and private. There is no restriction that only government teachers can vote. So it can be voted both by government teachers as well as private teachers, right? And then 1/12 will be again voted by registered graduates. There are many graduates, right? So in the different states. So among them, among those graduates, whoever has registered as a voters, those can be selected for 1/12. So again 8 more seats will be done by the graduates, elected graduates, and 8 by teachers. Done. Next, remaining. So out of 33 remaining, 16 were done, 8. And the remaining 16 or 17 will be nominated by the governor. This has the issue with the present context that we were discussing about the Telangana issue. So here governor can nominate the other 1/6 of the remaining seats. So governor can nominate. Now let's understand the context. So here, as I said, Telangana government earlier was formed by BRS, right? Bharatiya Rashtriya Samiti. So that party has asked governor to nominate. So governor cannot act in his discretion. He has to follow, he or she has to follow the Council of Ministers advice. So the Council of Minister advice of Telangana government, earlier BRS, was proposed 2 members to nominate, and governor rejected it. After the dismantling of the government or dissolution of the government, the new government has formed, that is Congress, and the governor has rejected those, and he or she was about to propose the new names put forward by the new government, that is Congress. But the court said that no, you cannot reject. You cannot reject on your will. You have to follow the Council of Ministers. The 2 members has filed this in the High Court, and High Court said that you cannot reject the members. You cannot follow your own discretion. Whatever the government, Telangana government has said, you have to follow the same. That's all. So that's why it has quashed the order that the 2 members are eligible now. Previous government has put forward, you have to follow, you have to nominate them. And the new Congress government also proposed 2 names, but that also was rejected. That already 2 members was forwarded by the previous government, so we are not accepting your new members, right? So that's what the High Court bench has said, right? So what we have seen here in this article, We have seen the issue of rejecting the governance proposed by Telangana High Court, and then we have seen what is Legislative Council, what is the members, what is the new states which are having, the 6 states which are having Legislative Council, and then we have seen how they are elected or how they are put forward and how they are dissolved. That also we have seen, and then how they are elected, the different composition or the manner of election, that also we have seen, and finally we have seen the Telangana government issue that the High Court has put forwarded, right? Yeah. So the next article, use of local currencies in the trade. The context is this, why we have taken this article. Recently, our central bank, that is RBI, with Bank of Indonesia, that is the Central Bank of Indonesia, they have signed an agreement that the deals between the two countries will be transacted with the local currencies. Generally, dollar is the international currency. So, for example, India and Indonesia, both are starting with IN only. Anyway, Indonesia. So, there are two countries. If the goods are transacted between these two countries, for example, India has bought some goods from Indonesia. So, we need to pay them in dollars because dollar is the internationally accepted currency. Also, if Indonesia buys some goods from India, they need to give us dollars only. Then we will convert based on the exchange rate, whatever the market prevalent, we will exchange into rupees. But this is the transaction currently that we need to give or we need to take the dollars only. That is the internationally accepted currency. Now, the two banks have signed that whatever the deals that we are going to do, we will do it in a domestic currencies. Means first, for example, Indian people have bought some goods from Indonesia. So what we will give them? So we will give them rupees. We will give them rupees because we are not going to encourage the dollar. So we will give them rupees, whatever the cost that prevalent, we will give directly to in terms of rupees. So they will take care of other things. So we have different accounts and all to maintain. No need to go into the too much complexity. Now, for example, Indonesia also buy some goods from India. Now, what the people will give? They will give the Indonesian currency. We will give our Indian rupees and they will give our Indonesian currency, and we will have a separate accounts. What will Indonesia do if they are taking the rupees? That may be your doubt, right? So, sir, you are saying that they will accept rupees, but what they will do? They will maintain a separate account where rupees are stored. Similarly, India will also maintain a separate account in Indonesia where they can keep Indonesian currency. So, when they are transacting, they will see the balance and all the already existing money of Indonesian rupees will be paid directly to them, right? So, India will give them this Indonesian rupees because we are transacting. So, if it is balanced, so whatever the goods we are taking and whatever the goods they are taking, if it is balanced, fine, we will exchange. But if there is any excess amount, that will be kept separately, and in future the trade keeps on going. It is not like an end in itself, it keeps on increasing. So these currencies will be stored and accordingly we can transact. So here in all this process we are not going to use the dollar, which is an international currency, so that we will also save the foreign exchange, the volatility in the market, and we will not depend on the dollar anymore. I'll tell you what are all the benefits that we are going to take care from this agreement. Let's discuss about the deal first and then we will go into little bit details. So the MOU, the agreement mainly aims to promote the use of local currencies, that is INR, Indian rupee, and then Indonesian rupiah, so which is called as the Indonesian rupiah. So these these currencies will be used to transact between the borders. That is one agreement. It covers all current account transactions. So at the international level, whenever you are transacting, there are two accounts. Current account, which is less than 1 year. So whatever the transactions that happens within 1 year between the countries will be kept under current account. And there is a capital account. Capital account, which are the, those account will be more than 1 year, like longer FDIs, FPIs and all, right? Loans, all those things will be kept under capital account. These, whatever the transaction that we are going to transact within 1 year, will be all covered under the agreement. So no need to pay dollars anymore. You can directly pay the domestic currency. So that is one agreement. Also, this agreement will enable exporters and importers to pay in the respective domestic currencies, right? So for example, I'm an importer, I'm taking some goods from Indonesia, from India, so I will directly pay the rupees. So the government of Indonesia will accept, they will store, and accordingly they will see in the future based on the transactions how much can be converted and all. So it will be taken care by the government itself. So these are all the agreements that has been done. Now, what are the benefits in bypassing the dollar? I said that we are not going to use the dollar, but why this is required? So this is required for certain issues. First one, optimizing the costs and settlement time for the transaction. So now, if there are two countries are transacting, there is a lot of exchange rate criteria. So we need to get the dollars first, and then we need to again this country need to transact into Indonesian rupiah. So this is India, this is Indonesia, for example. So we are giving dollars, and then they will take dollars, convert into Indonesian rupiah. So all these things is a very complex process. Even Indian rupees need to be converted into dollars, right? So now no need to do any transactions, or time, the cost involved, all the people involved. So nothing is required. So it is much faster way. So that is one point. Second is to promote trade between the India and Indonesia in a much faster way. So as these agreements comes into the picture, the importers, exporters, whoever between the countries are more willing to buy. They are not losing anything, or they are not wasting any time in converting dollars and all. So the trade between the two countries will increase. Next is reducing exchange rate volatility. So you all know that the rupee that we need to convert into dollar based on the international market levels, right? We cannot give just 50 rupees per dollar. It is based on the market condition, and there is a lot of volatility when we are doing these things, right? So if the rupee gets weaker, we need to give more rupees. So those volatility conditions can be evaded. Now we can directly give the rupees that has decided in the starting itself. Next, diversifying, settling the currencies. So we will settle the currencies in a much diversified manner, no need to keep depending on the dollar. So all these are benefits to both the countries. That's why we are bypassing the dollar, right? So any doubt? This is a little bit conceptual in nature, economics conceptual in nature. So just understand the benefits and which country we have done, so that will be sufficient. Next one, very small article, Artificial Intelligence Knowledge Consortium. Okay. So 12 research groups, the private, it is not a government, 12 research institutions and the think tanks. Think tanks means which give ideas to the public, right? So those come together and they have signed the Artificial Intelligence Knowledge Consortium. Remember, in exam they may ask you about who have launched this and all. So not ministry, not any Niti Aayog, something like that. It is a private consortium, right? So that you need to remember. Now, why they have signed this? That is important. It aims to promote multi-stakeholder approach to AI governance. So you all know AI has become very, very important now. AI means artificial intelligence. So I'll define also for you. It is not full form. So artificial intelligence means simulating the computers similar to our brain. So whatever our brain thinks and works, the same is simulated in the robots or computers, and they will work on their own, right? So that is called as artificial intelligence. So you all know that it has been a negative consequence as well, like deep fakes, fake news, right? Or cyber fraud. So all these things are happening due to AI. Now this consortium will collect or inform all the stakeholders that AI should be used ethically. That's why it has formed by various research institutions. So responsible business practices, as I said, artificial intelligence is being misused not only by individuals but companies as well. Some companies are also using by propelling certain products using our utility and clubbing with the artificial intelligence. So this is also being noted here, that all the business companies has to use the AI very ethically. So this is the aim of this, and they will be coordinated by, this program is coordinated by Con Advisory. So this advisory is the one which is assisting the foreign businesses entering in Indian market, how to do the business, how to do the conversation of rupees. So all these things are coordinated by the Cohen advisory, and this Cohen advisory is coordinating to implement this with along with all the companies that are involved in the business, right? So that is the thing. And the most important members, so as I said, there are 12 members. You don't need to remember anyone. I'm telling you because you may be in doubt, sir, any big companies are there? These are all very small institutions. So this includes AIKC, this includes Apti Institute, Cyber Sati. So these are all small institutes. They came together and they have implemented it, right? So this is about the AI consortium, new consortium, Artificial Intelligence Knowledge Consortium, right? Any doubts in, anyway, if you have any doubts, you can just comment there. So we'll explain you again as it is a recorded video, right? The next and very important one, VSAT, very small aperture terminal stations. Now, before going into the details of the discussion, now how the internet is connected. For example, if you see your home is here and this is road, there are a lot of houses. So we need to connect the wiring, right? We need to connect the wiring. We need to use at least optical fibers and all to connect the internet. And this is very difficult in the topography terrain, which is difficult. Now this is plain road, so it is easy. But if you go to the hilly regions, this is very difficult to connect. So keep this thing in mind. Now we will go into the detailed discussion, right? So recently, Ministry of Tribal Affairs has planning to collaborate with ISRO to launch VSAT stations. VSAT stations in the 80 tribal villages to transfer the internet, to provide the internet. So this is the context why we have taken this article, right? Now, what is VSAT stations? This is important to understand. What are VSAT stations? They are two-way satellite ground stations. So let me explain with the diagram, then we will come to the factual things. Okay. See here, understand here. So you please focus. So to make you understand in a better, we have an internet source. We have an internet source which is being used as a hub. So here we have all the internet devices and we are using geostationary satellite, a satellite which is surrounding around the earth. It will receive the signal, right? It will receive the signal, the internet from this source region, hub region, and then it will send it to the subscriber VSAT dish. So there is a one more dish. For example, this is a village. This is a village. These are all the tribal hamlets where we not able to get the internet because of the topography complexity. So this is a city. Okay, this is a city. Take example of Hyderabad. So we have a proper internet sources. So this service provider will connect it to the satellite, and this satellite will give it to the subscriber VSAT dish. So in the whole tribal regions, we cannot connect all the wires because of the topography. So at single place, we can keep the subscribers VSAT dish like antenna. So here internet will come and then a modem will be there, right? A satellite modem will be there connected to it, and from here all the subscribers can get it. So no need to have wiring for all the houses. They can directly connect it to the VSAT using the satellite modem, right? So this is how the VSAT internet works. So what is the role here? We are skipping the wiring connections and all to the topography, right? We are directly connecting through hubs without any wiring connection. So this is the mechanism of the VSAT satellites. Now there are some facts to be understood. It is a two-way satellite ground station. As I said, it is a two-way using the satellite, right? So this VSATs can handle narrow band data as well as broadband data. Narrow band is a one which have a specific purpose like credit card transactions, right? So narrow band data means which use connections to transact specific purpose, credit card transactions or what you call polling purpose, RFID data. So any other very specific purpose. Whereas broadband data can enhance or can give in a broader one. Like you can use web, you can use credit card, you can use many other things. So this is a broadband data connection, right? So these VSATs can give two types, narrow band and broadband. and they find you very useful in connecting the remote locations. As I have seen, as I have shown you that how it works. So it is bypassing in giving all these viable connections and all, right? So that's how it is working. Now, what are the advantages of using this? What is the advantage of using the VSAT satellites? Wherever there is a challenge related to the topography, so here this is very useful. We are bypassing this, and then it also offers wide coverage, faster and very cheaper. No need to have wiring all these things and all, so we can directly connect it using the satellite. So it is very speed and very cheaper as well, right? Also, there is no restriction related to the mountains and other hilly regions, because we are not even touching them. The direct satellite is there, it is connecting the provider and then require. So it is directly connected without any topography place. So, right. So these are all the advantages. So if we could able to do this, then we have a certain benefits for these tribal regions. So they can access to quality education. So you can see the tabs, all these things require internet. Only the people who are in cities were able to enjoy the benefits. But now if you could able to take this forward, then tribal regions will get quality education, better health using telemedicine. So digitally they can know, and then they will also involve more in taking the government schemes benefits, right? So they are not aware because of the lack of internet and all, but if you could able to do that, they can involve in direct benefit transfer, creating bank accounts, internet banking, all these things will be benefited. Similarly, boosting the local entrepreneurships who want to start business. So digitally they can use Phone Pay or Google Pay, whatever the transactions they can use through UPI. So these are all the benefits that we are going to get once this project is launched. So what are all the things we have seen from this article? We have seen the context. The tribal minister has signed to implement these VSAT stations in the tribal regions, and we have seen how they work, how they provide internet connections to them, right? Then we have seen the advantages, and finally what are all the expected benefits, right? So next one, International Women's Day, very factual in nature, not too much complexity. So it is celebrated every year on March 8th. For what purpose? To make know the world about the women contribution, and also encouraging the women to come forward and participate in the regular economy or society, right? So that is the aim of celebrating International Day, and this year International Women's Day, and the theme of this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Very, very important to be remembered. Invest in women, accelerate progress. Next, we will see the history of the International Women's Day also. That is also important to know for our exams. So way back in 1908, women laborers has come forward to protest. 15,000 women marching in New York in USA. So they have protested in the city of New York that they want equal pay and improved working conditions, voting rights, because earlier the voting rights were given only to the men, and the wages also given more to men, because it was superstitiously believed that they have more physical activity, right? So because of this, women protesters has done in New York. That was the first time that women's role was recognized. Next, in 1909, first National Women's Day was celebrated in United States. So after this protest, after realizing the importance of women, the first National Women's Day was celebrated in USA in 1909. Okay, that is second fact. And the third one is, in 1913, the peace campaign was organized by Russian women. Okay, the peace campaign was organized by the Russian women on March 8th, which led officially to mark as a International Women's Day. So on March 8th in 1913, Russian women has campaigned that we want equality along with the men. So that was called as a peace campaign. So since then we are celebrating it, right? But anyway, though it was recognized, it was not clearly accepted by the countries. Only the few countries which are following those communist ideologies, so they have followed that, right? Now in the modern context, for the first time in 1975, International Women's Day was officially recognized by United Nations. So we have United Nations coordinating with all the countries. It has officially accepted that International Women's Day will be celebrated on March 8th. So you can see this was the origin why we are celebrating on March 8th, because way back in 1913 on March 8th, there was a International Women's Day celebrated in the Russia, right, USSR. The same was accepted officially in 1975, and since 1996, we are celebrating every year. So United Nations accepted that every year we will have a celebration of International Women's Day to mark their achievements. And in 2015, to know or to mark the importance of the gender inequality existing in the society, under sustainable goal number 5, they have recognized that we need to promote the equality in the next, we need to achieve the gender equality by 2030, right? So this is about the International Women's Day. We have seen the theme and then history, where it originated and what is the present scenario. Next article, National Creators Award. So this is again very factual in nature. Recently, on March 7th, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has created or given the first ever National Creators Award in the Bharat Mandapa, New Delhi. So who are creators? Creators means who use their brain and create something new, right? So those are called as creators. So to recognize the importance, government has launched National Creators Award. And what is this award for? So as I said, it recognizes the excellence or achievements across the domains, whether in digital media, whether in terms of health, education, anything, storytelling, video. So who create something new. So to recognize the importance, to encourage the entrepreneurship skills, to think in a better manner, government has come up with this award, right? So the award encourages creativity, which has a positive effect. For example, I have invented something new like pen. So it is like it is contributing positively to the society, right? So that's why it is being given. The award is being provided across 20 categories. Very, very important. So the award is given across 20 categories. You don't need to worry that what are all the categories, that will not be asked in the exam. But the total categories you can remember as 20. Out of that, 19 are exclusively given for Indian nationalists, right? So Indian nationalities. So whoever Indian citizens, they are given exclusively out of 20, 19 are exclusive for Indian citizens and one is for international digital creators. So India is also encouraging the international digital creators who contribute for positive change, right? And all the participants who got award should be at least age of 18. There is no limit of the older age, but the starting age, the award winner should at least have a 18 years old. So these are all the facts. Next one, Uttar Purva Transformative Industrialized Scheme 2024, Unnati 2024. The shortcut. So here Uttara Purva means northeast. Uttara means north and Purva means east. So northeast region, to develop the industrialized society in the northeast. You all know that northeast is not very much connected with the Indian mainland, right? So that's why we are still developing the northeast with the different forms. As part of it, Government of India has launched Unnati program, where they are aiming to promote the industries in the northeast region, right? So for this purpose, they have created the corpus of 10,037 crores. Sir, how they are going to create industrialization, that we will discuss in the coming slides. For now, remember the objective, and then for the period of 10 years, government is going to handle this scheme in the northeast. And there was a separate fund created, that is 10,035 crore. Now, what is the objective of the scheme? As I said, there are two important objectives. First, I have already discussed. They want to develop the industries in the northeast region. That is the first one, developing industries, right? And it is also one more thing, central sector scheme. So 100% is completely funded by the government. So there is no requirement of any states also, right? So first objective is to develop the industries, and second one is to generate gainful employment. That is other thing, right? So this will be effective from the notification, that is March 31, 2024. So March 31, the scheme will start and it will be there for 10 years, that is 2034. Okay. Now, how they are going to use this 10,000 crore fund? That is important to understand how it works. They have divided total into two regions. Zone A and then Zone B. Zone A are those cities which are already industrialized. Within Northeast itself, there was already an industrialized cities like Guwahati. So they were kept part of Zone A, and the underdeveloped or backward developed industrial regions, districts were kept under Zone B, right? Now, whoever are investing, so how they are going to promote the industries, that here we will discuss. So whoever are going to invest here, they will get, see here, wherever GST is applicable. See, in certain regions there are no GST is applicable. For example, the less amount of investment, certain regions are excluded from GST, right? So whenever there is a GST applicable, the government out of 10,037 crore is going to give for every project up to 5 crore rupees. Not all this crore. Out of this, 5 crore rupees will be given to any of the business, right? Any of the business up to 30% of investment in plant and machinery. For example, I want to start a company. I want to buy some equipment, including plants, machinery, all these things. So for to encourage me, so 30% of the total cost of the funds. For example, I need 10 crore to buy all these things. Out of that, 3 crore is freely given by the government from this fund. So freely it is giving 30% for me to do the plantage, to buy the plants or the equipment, whatever the requirement. But that cost should not exceed 5 crore. For example, my business is 100 crore. So 30%, that is 30 crore. Government will not give 30 crore, but it will maximum cap at 5 crore. Okay. And if it is Zone B means which are not yet developed. For those regions, 50% fund will be given. And the cap is at 7.5 crore. So government is giving fund to each of the project from this fund created separately to promote industries. So industries, for example, I have industry, so government is giving free rupees of 3 crore and then 7.5 crore if it is underdeveloped. So it encourages me to start the business in the Northeast. So that's why these incentives are there. And if it is not applicable GST, then for Zone A it can be 10 crore. So if that means GST is not applicable, means that is still an underdeveloped one. So for those, 10 crores will be given. Of course, the percentage is 30%, the total cost of equipment. And in the case of Zone B, they are going to give the 10 crore, right? So the fund is same, but the 50% and 30%, right? Also, they are, apart from giving these funds, government is also giving the interest. See, I have bought the plantations equipment and all, but beyond that I need something else, recruitment or whatever the extra things, digitalization, I need money. For that I will take in loans from the banks, right? I need to pay some interest. So that interest will also be helped by government. 3% interest that I am paying to the banks will be given by the government up to 7 years. Similarly, for Zone B, they are giving more interest. So I need to pay certain interest to the banks. It may be 7-8%. Out of that, 3% for Zone A and 5% for the Zone B, right? So this is a very good encouragement from the government. Same with the here as well, where the GST is not applicable. 3% for 7 years and 5% for 7 years. So beyond giving some funds to buy equipment, government is also giving back me some interest as well to encourage to do the business. So by doing all these things, they are encouraging to start industries or expanding industries in the Northeast region. So the silent features also we will see here about the scheme. All eligible industrial units, whoever want to take help from this scheme, they have to start the business within 4 years after signing the agreement. So after taking money, they have to start the business within 4 years, else government will take back the equipment or the money, right? So that is one thing. And then all existing as well as the new industries are eligible to gain benefit from it. That is one more point. And it is expected to create employment of approximately 83,000 for youth, which is a very good thing, right? In the Northeast region. This is about the Unnati mission, right? So that is about the scheme. Now the next mission, India AI, India Artificial Intelligence Mission. Cabinet has given 10,300 crores separately to launch Indian AI mission. So what is this mission and all? We will see now. Just understand the context that new India AA mission was launched by the government with 10,300 crores rupees. Now, what is the scheme about? So, as I said, AI is being misused as well as it has potential benefits, right? We have education, we have a 3D printing. So, there's a lot of things, Internet of Things. So, artificial intelligence has very good scope. So, to encourage artificial intelligence utility in the India, government has come up with the India AI plan for the coming few years, right? So, it will be implemented by the Independent Business Division under Digital India Corporation. So, already Digital India Corporation was there, which was created to implement the Digital India program. We have a Digital India program to promote, whether in terms of internet, UPI, all these things. Already a Digital India Corporation was created to promote Digital India. So, the same body will take care of India AI as well, right? Independent Business Division. So, this division is within DIC, Indian Corporation Division, right? Digital India Corporation. Under this DIC, there is a Independent Business Division, and this division will implement the India AI program, right? So, as I said, the Digital India Corporation was already existing. It was existing to implement the Digital India mission, and this is a non-profit. There is no profit it is seeking for. It is just want to help the people who want to involve in the Digital India, right? So, it is a non-profit organization. So, this DI was created under Companies Act 2013. This is also important. So, it was created under the Companies Act as a non-profit organization. So, this DIC will take care of the India AI mission. It provides strategical support to the various ministries. They will collect data from various countries and then the inputs are given to various ministries, right? So, this DIC has the division of Independent Business Division, and this will implement the India AI. And what are the components? What are the special components mentioned by the India AI program? There are 5 components. One is compute capacity. So, to create the computers, to create the robots, to create the physical equipment which are going to use the AI, artificial intelligence. Second is innovation centers. So, innovation centers are separately created to promote the research and development in the AI. So, this is the second component. First one is creating the physical things. Second one is to promote the innovation or research in this area of artificial intelligence. Second is data sets. So, artificial intelligence need a data. What type of data? It should not be personal, like my name or caste, what those things will not be taken. Non-personal data, how I am consuming all these things will be take care under the project. So, the data is needed for artificial intelligence to analyze the existing conditions. So, this will be also component. And then application development. So, we need lot of applications to use the artificial intelligence, right? So, those applications will also be what you call promoted, like apps. I am talking about the apps. So, those apps also will be encouraged. And then future skills, where it will promote education and skill among BTech, MTech and PhD courses. So, they are going to launch the new courses related to the AI. So, these are all the components. The last component is financing. So, whoever want to involve in research and data, we will also provide the funds. So, that is allocated for this, right? So, these are all the components of India AI mission. Next one, PM Ujjwal Yojana, a new old scheme, but as an exempted, right? It is an extended. So, the context is very simple. The Union Cabinet has approved the extension of the PM Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, right? So, you may ask what is PM Ujjwala Yojana? No need to worry, we will see that as well, right? So, here Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana was launched way back in 2016. To promote utility of LPG gas, right? So, you all know that earlier we were using lot of stoves and all which are polluted, and also women's health are also being affected. So, to overcome this challenge, government has established or launched Pradhan Mantri Ujjwal scheme, where they are going to give free LPG gas. Initially, they have launched approximately 1600 rupees were given. So, the aim is to protect the women health as well as the children health, to shift them to use the proper cooking fuel without affecting their smoky kitchens, right? So earlier it was using a lot of sticks or wood and all, right? Now they are encouraging to use the LPG gases, right? So here this was launched by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas with the budget of 88,000 crore. So in 2016 it was launched by Ministry of Petroleum with 8,000 crore rupees, right? So this scheme encouraged to take LPG connections of approximately 5 crore. Earlier target in 2016 they have kept the target as we will reach out to the 5 crore connections of the women under the BPL families. Now after that in 2018 it was extended the target to 8 crore. So the women, the gases that we are going to give LPG gas, we will be covering approximately 8 crore women, right? So connections are issued under the name of women households. These are not given for men. So the name should be of women only, so that they are directly connecting the role of women here, right? And then the identification of the beneficiaries will be done based on, we said that it is BPL families, isn't it? So we already said that it is BPL families, but how they are identified? They are identified based on the socio-economic caste census conducted by the rural government. So already Ministry of Rural Development has this data, socio-economic census data. So this data will be used to collect the details of the BPL families, and only those people will be benefiting from the project. Now what government has extended? Government has extended that for 14.2 kg cylinder weight, we will be giving 300 rupees back. So use this cylinder, we are giving 300 rupees back, and per year it can be used 12 refillings. So whoever is taking the 12 refillings, so for every refilling they are giving 300 rupees back. So approximately 3,600 rupees are giving as a subsidy, right? So as of now, as of March 1st, 2024, we have approximately 10.27 crore PM, the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwal Yojana beneficiaries. They have targeted initially 5, then it went for 8, now it was reaching 10.27 crore, right? So this is a very good number, right? So what we have seen here, we have seen what is the context that government has extended the subsidy, that is 300 rupees. Then we have seen the scheme when it was launched, what is the objective, what is the facts which is ministry has launched, features of the scheme also we have seen, and then the government extension that was announced on March 7, right? So this is about the scheme. Yeah, the next article and very important data, final estimates of 2020 to 23. We are done with the 2022-23 financial year related to area and production of horticulture crops. Horticulture crops means those are grown at the stem level, at the lower level, they are not the big trees, which gives fruits and vegetables. Those are called as a horticulture crops. Horticulture crops related data we got now from the government, from Press Information Bureau. We need to remember them. Let's go with the data that is available now, right? So highlights is the horticulture production in this 2022-23 is final estimated to be 355.48 million tons. What is million? 10 lakhs, right? Million is 10 lakhs. You all know this. And what is ton? One ton is equal to 1000 tons. Sorry, 1000 kgs. So this is the total weight of the production that we have done. Of course, 355. So this is the total in terms of kgs. So this is the total production that we have done from horticulture this year. Very, very important figure that you need to remember. Total production is 355.48 million tons of horticulture we have produced, and this is an increase of 2.39%. When we compare to 2021-22, we are able to increase it to 2.39%. Important. Next, so as I said, there was an increase over the last years. Just a second, an increase of about million tons, right? So the area, yes, this is the weight, this is the total weight that we have increased from 355.48 million tons, and area also we were able to increase of approximately 1.41%. What is area? In which amount of area we are cultivating the horticulture crops, that we were able to increase by 1.41%, and the weight, total weight of the horticulture we were able to produce or increase 2.39%. Now, for each of the important fruits, we need to, each of the horticulture crop, we need to remember the figure as well. So, for fruit production, it was 110.21 million tons, the total production, right? And majorly increased due to apples, bananas. This is not very important. The total fruits among the total horticulture crops, the fruits are 110.21 million tons, and production of vegetables was 212.55 million tons. So, vegetables are more than fruits, that is important. So, next one is vegetables, and mainly increased, the contribution was mainly done by all the vegetables except chilies, onions. So, onions production has decreased, tomatoes and onions, and rest of the things were increased. These figures are very, very important. I am not just simply added here, you have to remember. And then onions, the production of onions went to 302 lakh tons. Sir, you said the total production itself is 355 million tons, and now onions itself is saying 302. Observe the units, it is just a lakh tons, that was million tons. 1 million is 10 lakhs, right? So, this is the onion production, 302 lakh tons, and the potato is 601 lakh tons, and the tomatoes is 204.25 lakh tons. So, the potatoes are more, and then onions, and then the tomatoes, right? So, these figures are very important. Next article, Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Port. Why we have taken this port? Recently, Ministry of Ports has contributed or given 800 crore worth rupees for transformation of Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Port, right? So, this about the port, let's see. This is nothing but a Kolkata port. Now, it was named last year as Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust. Earlier, it was part of earlier it was called as Kolkata Port, right? So, it is the only riverine major port. Among the major ports that we have, 13 major ports are there, and this is the one which is located on the river. It is completely located on the fresh water, though it is coast area, West Bengal. So, though it is a coastal area, the port itself is located in the river itself, the river joining the sea, right? So, this is the only major port that is located on the river. That is very important. It is located in the West Bengal. And this is the oldest operating port in India, which was built by Britishers. Britishers was having capital in the Kolkata, you all know, right? So, in 1870 itself, the port was created, and we are able to manage till date, right? So, this is the oldest operating port, and this is, Kolkata is a freshwater port with no variation salinity. I told you that this is located on the Hooghly River, right? So, this is located on the Hooghly River, right? So, this is located in the Hooghly River, and this is completely a freshwater port, even though it is located on the sea, but it is just inside where the river meets the ocean. Very, very important. Those are the facts about the Kolkata port. Very brief facts, they may ask in the exam. Next one, Namaste scheme. So, full form you may be a little bit worried, so you have to remember this. National Action Plan or National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem. So, that is the full form, Namaste, N-A-M-S-E, right? So, that is Namaste scheme for sanitation, for promoting the clean sanitation, mechanized sanitation. Now, government has collected training or profile proofing all the data related to the workers who are cleaning at the drainages. The government has conducted the profiling who are doing this. So, why? Because the wastage has a lot of toxic gases, and they want to protect the sanitation worker. That's why the government scheme was launched. The full form I have already explained you, National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem, also called as Namaste scheme. And this is an initiative of the two ministries, Ministry of Social Justice, right, and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Why Ministry of Social Justice is involved? According to the data, whoever was involved in the sanitation works, out of that 95% of people are from scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So, the lower caste. So, that's why it comes the role of social justice, who will take care of the caste element in the sanitation workers, right? So, it is being implemented by National Safai Karmacharis Finance and Developmental or Corporation. So, this is already existing under Ministry of Social Development to enhance or to protect the workers of sanitation who are doing the drainage cleaning and all, right? So, this organization is being dealt, and the total allocation of the project cost was 349.73 crores were allocated for this financial year between 2023-24 to 25-26, right? Now, what are the components of scheme? First one is profiling. That means who are all working, where they are located, from which caste. So everything will be collected so that whenever there is an issue, they will reach out for the help, right? So this is one important component. Second one is providing them health insurance through Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Jan Arogya Yojana. We have already a scheme which gives the health insurance. So all the workers who are working in this will be given the insurance under PM Jan Arogya Yojana. Next, occupational safety training. So the workers who are working don't know about the mischievous thing or the dangerous things that are associated with the toxic gases. So they will be trained as part of the program that this is the effect. You need to wear the protection equipment. So those equipment are also provided by the government itself. So the capital subsidy of up to 5 lakh rupees were provided for the sanitation related vehicles and equipment for those workers who are involved in it, right? So distribution of PPE kits, the personal protection kits, all these things were given as part of the scheme, right? So that you need to remember. The outcomes will be zero fatality and then formalization of sanitation workers, elimination of manual workers. They are going to use the machines in the future. Of course, in most of the countries that was eliminated, right? Empowerment of sanitation workers. All these are all the outcomes, expected outcomes of the scheme. Next one on the last scheme, Swadesh Darshan and Prasad scheme. So there are two schemes related to the tourism, which was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister. Of course, it was an old scheme. They are old schemes, but now the 1400 crores were given for these schemes. Let's discuss what are all the schemes. About the Prasad scheme. The Prasad scheme was the full form, the full form is Pilgrimages Rejuvenation and Spiritual Heritage Augmentation Drive, Prasad. So you all know the name itself, the full form itself, if you know, that is the objective. They are going to maintain the clean spaces in the pilgrimage places like Shirdi, Tirumala. There's a lot of pilgrimage places. They are going to have a proper facilities there, drinking water, cleanliness, everything will be maintained. So that is the scheme objective, that they are going to promote the cleanliness and the hygiene or the aesthetic condition at the pilgrimage places. It was launched in 2014 with the name Prasad. Now it was transferred to Prasad. H was added. Earlier it was Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive. Now heritage, the term heritage was added, right? So what is the objective? It was to promote the aesthetic or the cleanliness in the pilgrimage places. So objective is to focus development, identify the pilgrimage places and then enrich with the experience, good experience among the pilgrimages. It aims to integrate all the destination in a single phased manner and promote the sustainability, the long-term betterness among the pilgrimage places. That is the objective. So it is taken care by the Ministry of Tourism, very important, Prasad scheme, through central financial assistance. So there is completely assisted by the central government itself. There is no need of worry about the state governments, right? So funded by completely central government. It will be implemented by respective states and union territories. Though the scheme is launched by central ministry and the funds are given, but the implementation agencies are the state governments, right? The next one, Swadesh Darshan scheme. So the name itself suggests we need to visit the different places in the country. So that is the thing. It was launched as a central sector scheme in 2014-15 by Ministry of Tourism, right? So central sector means 100% funded. And what is the aim? It is an integrated development of theme-based tourist circuit. Theme-based means Buddhist circuit. So wherever the Buddhist places are there, they will be connecting. Wherever the Hindu temples are there, they will be connecting as a circuit. And there will be rails, right? There will be proper information related to the tourist places, to the pilgrimages. So they are going to connect the theme-based sites. So that is the objective of Swadesh Darshan scheme. It will synchronize with the other schemes like Swachh Bharat to maintain cleanliness and then digitalization. All these things will be integrated. Swadesh Darshan 2.0 was launched, in extension of the scheme to promote sustainability and responsible tourism. So waste and all should be removed, reduced, and they empower the citizens to promote the sustainable tourism, right? So that is about the things. Now let's see the factual pointers quickly. Kerala has launched the first state-owned OTT platform, C-Space. So OTT, you know, right, over the top platform where you can watch movies, Amazon, Jio Cinema, all these things. But this C-Space is completely launched by the government itself. So this is for the first time in the country. Next one, the inaugural Bharat Steam Boiler Expo. So for the first time, Bharat Steam Expo was conducted. This is the first edition, which was held in Guwahati, right? So it is promoting the boiler industry. So that is the fact. Next one, Jharkhand became the first state in the country to launch the empowerment or encouragement of widows to remarry, right? So the scheme was Vidva Punarvivah Protsahan Yojana. This is for the first time in the country they have launched this type of scheme by the Chhattisgarh. So it will give 2 lakh rupees to those widow women who will remarry it, right? So that is the fact. Now let's move to the practice questions of the session. Which of the following statements regarding the state legislative councils are correct? The maximum strength of the council is fixed at 1/3 of the total strength of the assembly, and it should not cross the minimum, it should not go below the 40. We have discussed this in the beginning itself, the starting session, the starting article. So first statement stands correct. Next one, 2/3 members of the legislative councils are elected by the members of local bodies in the states like municipalities. It is not 2/3 members, right? It was 1/3, right? So second statement is wrong. Constitution has fixed the maximum and minimum limits of the strength of legislative council. Yes, Constitution has fixed. That's what we have seen. So answer is 1 and 3. Next one, which of the following statements about National Creators Award is incorrect? They are asking the incorrect. The award is envisaged as a launchpad for using creativity to drive positive change. We have seen this. This is correct statement. The award is being provided across 20 categories. Yes, 20 categories, or 19 for domestic and 1 for international. One category of award is dedicated to international digital creators. That is also correct. Participant age must be between 18 to 30. No, there is a starting age 18, but there is no end age. So this is wrong, and hence option D is correct. Which of the following statements are correct regarding very small aperture terminal? We have seen this article as well. It is a two-way satellite ground station. Yes, this is correct, two-way. So from the receiver and then from provider. Its data rates generally range from 4 kbps to 4 mbps. That is also correct. This we did not discuss, but this is a fact. It acts as geosynchronous orbit to relay data from small remote earth stations. Yes, this is also correct. Answer is D. Next one, consider the following horticulture crops. Arrange the above crops in descending order according to their production in the 2020-23. We have seen this. Potatoes has the highest. So they are asking the descending order. So potatoes should come first. So first we got the answer. Next is onions and third is tomatoes, right? So that is the answer. The last question, which of the following ports in India are the only riverine major port? Right? So this is not Kolkata, we have seen, right? Shyam Prasad Mukherjee port. So that is about today's 8th March session. I hope you enjoyed the session. It is a little bit lengthy, but yes, we have a lot of articles, right? Thanks for watching.